They say culture is the soul of a nation, but 20 years ago, that soul needed a champion. It needed a voice. It needed foundation. 2 decades ago, John D. Connick and Emily Drani saw a gap.
Culture was, at that time, was seen as something that really belonged to the past.
They didn't just want to preserve the past, they wanted to fuel the future.
We were working together in another organization before that was involved in community development work. We realized the grip of all those people we're working with was not as strong as it should be because the cultural dimension was missing.
It was very negative, and if anything, it was considered irrelevant. Apart from music, dance, and drama, that is what people understood as culture. But connecting culture to anything related to other development sectors, whether it is gender, conservation, income generation, culture was not featuring in those conversations.
Well, then we were saying, can we have a team of people, one, who were thinkers, philosophers, who could philosophize about these things, not just an intellectual organization, but yes, we needed a good intellectual background, but an organization that would help people actually turn their cultural goods, their cultural activities into a resource.
This is the story of the Cross Culture Foundation of Uganda. 20 years of heritage, safeguarding and promotion.
We were invited to a meeting, and our first meetings were at the National Theatre.
But there was the director of the National Theatre, there was the director of the Commission for UNESCO, there were a couple of people in the Ministry of Gender and in the Ministry of Tourism, also a few people in civil society.
We were at a restaurant and we were thinking, can we come up with something that is different, that has meaning to community?
We started talking about the role of culture in development. The beginnings were funded by ourselves, our own pockets, which was enough to rent a small room in the National Theatre and buy a few pieces of furniture.
We started with 1 staff, and that 1 staff was Petwa Osele.
It was my first formal job. All I found that was available was receipts and invoices from transactions that had transpired months before I joined the organization.
Initially, Emily and John had to work literally as volunteers because there was even no money. But then when we started 2005 like that, the donor world was already, there was donor fatigue already.
To get partners was a bit challenging because we didn't seem to have other organizations that are looking at culture and development. We internally did not also have access to technical support, whether it was from the government or from other institutions, and we had to seek that externally.
Emily and John persevered despite major funding challenges.
However, CCFU was very privileged because we managed to get support, and which I believe is still going on, from Bread for the World. And that's an organization that gave CCFU liberty. They understood what we were doing. The organization, having started in 2005, had an opportunity to be registered as an INTO member. INTO is the International National Trusts Organization. That was a turning point because CCFU was open to new partners, a new world of heritage promoters, heritage experts, and reassurance that what the organization was doing was on track. CCFU started getting invitations from UNESCO to participate in the Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, and we joined and became accredited as an NGO. The organization was also able to apply for international assistance.
Through 3 grueling years of voluntary service, John, Emily and a small passionate team defied funding shortages to build our foundation from scratch. They didn't just work for a cause. They built a sustainable structure designed to last. By sacrificing salaries to invest in the future, they turned a vision into an institution. a self-sustaining legacy that today celebrates 2 decades of impact.
So we have grown human resource-wise, we have grown financially, but also with the programs, we are continuously growing. For example, heritage education clubs. We had a few clubs, around 130 heritage clubs, but as of today, we are boasting of more than 280 clubs.
It started in the classroom. We didn't just teach history, we ignited it. Through culture heritage clubs, thousands of young Ugandans found their roots, and we didn't stop there. We took heritage to the highest level, pushing for the first ever Bachelor of Cultural Heritage programs in our universities. From the playground to the lecture hall, we were building a generation that knows exactly who they are. But culture lives in the community. CCFU stood as the midwife for the Uganda Community Museums Association, UKOMA. UKOMA is an association of 30 community museums in Uganda.
CCFU came in to support us to work together in collaboration to have a museum which is more lively, more active. And we wanted to see that it is an income generating thing, and we got some funding from Cultural Foundation of Uganda to see it, that we buy some artifacts and some relics people can buy when they come to visit.
We were looking at issues of cultural rights, being able to ensure that minorities also have the same right to enjoy, express and explore their cultural heritage.
The culture of the Wasongora was dying, and indeed it was on its verge of dying, because first of all we are a minority in this area, indigenous minorities. So when CCFU was introduced here, we thought it was an advantage to us to have where to start from, promoting our language, cultural activities.
We started working with the Batwa community in Bundibujo. So again, that was a landmark because we were working with communities that were marginalized.
The CCFU helped us so much to pay some of the fees. So they constructed for us that building you are seeing, the blue, it is the boys' dormitory. That's the work of CCFU. CCFU constructed for us that class, the 3 classroom block, in support of the education of the Batwa children.
We launched our first cultural protection fund project, Melting Snow, Rivers in Flood. This was such a success that it went on to become something almost of a poster child for the British Council's work in this area, and gave us something tangible to talk about regarding Intu's work in the field of heritage, climate change, community action and nature-based solutions. CCFU have taken that baton forward for us at Intu and the whole of our network, and you're now one of our leading advocates at the UN level.
I remember in 2012, after introducing my idea to the Cross Cultural Foundation of Uganda, they supported us once again. We are having community groups, and we trained them in handcraft making. Then we started, we always call it a corner craft shop at the museum. And not only that, we've been moving with the Cross Cultural Foundation of Uganda. They keep pushing me, motivating me, taking me to the workshops up to date.
Before CCFU came into play, this was a place that was abandoned. And first of all, it was feared because it was first attached to witchcraft. It was a bush all over, and nobody was managing this place here. And CCFU came into play and mobilized us, the community. Since then, we have taken on and we have managed this facility or resource successfully.
Traditionally, we conserve the chimpanzees. We started what we call games and sports, creating the chimpanzee football tournament. And that one, we tried to make sure that to bring on board all the youth among the Rwenzori clans So that is an activity that has created great impact on cultural value conservation, especially the chimpanzees here.
We believe what gets celebrated gets preserved. That's why we introduced the Heritage Awards, shining a spotlight on the unsung heroes who guard our traditions against the sands of time.
First, I would tell CCFU, don't lose the vision that we had 20 years ago, because that's what makes CCFU unique.
I see CCFU growing into an organization that provides intellectual leadership to the culture sector. I see it providing different models that work and able to show that Uganda has products on cultural heritage that can be applied in outside Africa.
I congratulate CCFU for this 20th anniversary. 20 years are not a short period of time. Thank you very much. It's a sign of your resilience, commitment, and accountability.
Congratulations, CCFU team. Thank you for running the race, and thanks for pushing on with the subject of culture and development.
We appreciate the Cross Culture Foundation for the great work you have done. You have caused a rebirth of the heritage and culture of Uganda.
It's been a 20-year journey of grit, passion, and partnership, from policy shifts to grassroots movements, from John and Emily's vision to a nationwide legacy. 20 years of CCFU. We aren't just looking back at where we've been, we're looking forward to where we're going. CCFU at 20, celebrating our past, inspiring our future.